Seems to be connecting. Hopefully. Yes, maybe. Maybe not. Okay. Right. Well, this seems to be live streaming. Okay, so basically, this is my first live stream. So let's have a bit of a look at the show today. So what we're doing is we're going to be playing Minecraft RTX, of course. And in this, what we're actually going to be doing, if this is actually working at all, I just want to check to make sure. It seems like it's working. Hopefully it's not too glitchy. It seems to be pretty delayed on my system as far as I can see, so that's not great. So let's try and okay, this is definitely weird. I want to show you guys what I can actually see, but yeah, that's probably not the best idea. Okay, so let's get onto this. So what we're doing today is we're going into a Minecraft RTX mod that I've made, which is basically using the TerraForged mod. And what I've done is basically, because it works in Java Edition, it is a bit sort of impractical to be able to modify the actual mod to work in Bedrock. Plus, there's also some copyright issues with that sort of thing. So what I've done instead is use the TerraForge mod over in Java, and then what I've done from there is basically shifted that game over to Bedrock so that we can have a look at it in Minecraft RTX. So, without further introduction, let's see if this actually works. Because the big thing I'm concerned about with this is that we actually have the stream coming from my graphics card. And this is also running in RTX, which means that it's also putting a lot of stress on my graphics card as well. So let's see how this all goes. First thing I want to do though is really max this out a little bit, because obviously we're not going to pussyfoot around a little bit here, and we're going to go straight up to 16 chunks in RTX. And it does seem fairly stable. Okay, it seems fairly stable. And look at this, isn't this gorgeous? So we're just going to have a bit of a browse around through the world and have a look at how this all sort of works in RTX. So as you can see, we've got our basic sort of pillager outposts, that sort of thing. And if I'm correct, all the maps should be moderated or loaded towards this issue. Well, towards this direction. And there's some sort of stream warning that I have about bit rates or something. I'm going to ignore that for now and hope that it's just going to all work out. So, in fact, I believe that I'm supposed to head in this direction. I've only actually rendered this map in one direction. That's the other thing that you got to remember, is that it would have taken hours and hours and hours to obviously render this map out properly, but that's okay, that's okay. And look at this. This is very interesting. I don't think I've got proper sort of settings. My computer's definitely starting to slow down now. Let's have a look. Let's make sure that everything's fancy, beautiful. Yes, good. Okay, so it does look like it's all working properly. It's just because I'm a bit far away from it, I think. I am. I can definitely hear my computer heating up at this stage. Isn't this wonderful? Like, I wish that we actually had something like this in Bedrock natively. Like, look how wonderful this looks. Man, this is insane. Look how high it is. So, one of the things about the TerraForge mod is that I've noticed that they've actually got diorite around the very edges of these sort of ridges and that sort of thing. And it's supposed to sort of symbolize kind of those areas that you get around hills and that sort of thing, as far as how it all sort of looks. So if we jet forward a little bit quicker and have a bit more of a look at some other interesting areas, see what they're like, and hopefully I can sort of follow where I've rendered out this map, because yeah, it's fairly thin. I think it's only about 36 chunks wide, namely because Java obviously has some issues with rendering distance, that sort of thing. But at the moment, I guess my computer does as well having Bedrock, so it is what it is. And look at this, look at this. Okay, so this is great. This is as good looking as Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I actually get decent frames per second. So this is rather interesting. In fact, if we just go down here, what do we have? Okay, so this is all andesite, that sort of thing. Not andesite, what am I even saying? I'm talking absolute bollocks now. I'm just sort of rambling at this point. That's okay though. There's always a first for something at some point, so that's alright. And I like this mod, how it sort of makes the hills look and that sort of thing. Obviously I can't sort of see streamer chat or anything like that if anything is actually sort of occurring. So if anyone is actually making any sort of conversations, I probably won't see that. That's something on the downside. But aside from that, look at this. This is how I can imagine Minecraft would look if it actually had sort of like a real world generation. And this is great. Like, I think if anything, probably I would say that this would be better than a cave mod at the moment. Because look at this. We just got such massive mountain peaks. Oh, look at this. There's a village just over there. And if we just skirt over to the village, let's have a look at how this all sort of looks. Now that's gorgeous. Hang on a sec. I gotta take a photo of this because this is great. Like, look how wonderful this looks. If you could just have that as just like your desktop. In fact, I may even save a photo of that because that's just wonderful. That's what I want to see in Minecraft. That's more of this sort of stuff where it's just completely ridiculous. It's really, really strange. The one thing I've found with RTX is that your render distances really get pulled down quite a lot because it's fairly intensive. Even when you're sort of running fairly high sort of equipment and that sort of thing, which is a bit of a problem, that sort of stuff. But at the same point, could you imagine just having... Hang on, wait. Yeah, there we go. Now that's a Minecraft view. That's what you want. I feel like I'm jumping from one thing to another continuously, and what died there? I have no idea whatsoever what just died there. But that's okay. So back to what I was saying, I feel like I'm sort of jumping from one thing to another so much, but there's just so much to see here. And it's just all so magical and wonderful. This is some of the things that I really miss about playing Bedrock. And I do love Bedrock. It's obviously one of my games that I truly have a deep passion for. But it's just missing some of the creator mods and things like that at the moment, which makes it look absolutely magical. So let's continue on our little journey that we have here. And hopefully I can remember which way I was going. I think it was this way. I think it is. In fact, what I might do is I might show you what happens if I go too far towards the edges. Because obviously this is only rendered out in a very long sort of strip. So if I go towards the very edges, you'll start to see, not so much here, but a little bit further along, you'll start to see that it sort of breaks the world a little bit. Because Minecraft in Bedrock is trying to render it like it would normally render it. And here we go. You can see where the chunks are not quite loaded throughout the mod. So yeah, it's a bit of a downside, that sort of thing. But at the same point, like, come on. We're really trying to push a lot of stuff to the absolute limit here. And I think as far as this goes, this is the kind of thing that... I think this is the kind of stuff that RTX really needs to try and push forward a bit more of, and have some of these mods where it completely changes out the world into how it looks and things like that. And obviously we're going nighttime here. The one thing about RTX is that nighttime is really dark. Let me show you how dark this gets. Let's just jump down here and have a bit of a look around. And as you can see, it's dark. I mean, how much can you guys actually see here? Because there's not a lot to sort of see on my screen as far as I can sort of make out, and it's not the greatest. I mean, at the same point though, it's definitely something where it does feel a lot more dynamic than how the game has been. So that's an absolutely good side to it. But at the same point, yeah, it's really dark, especially if you start going into tunnels and caves and that sort of thing. So let's bring up the sun again, and I'm just going to cheat a little bit. But that should be fine, absolutely fine. Let's set sunrise, and here we go. So let's travel a bit more along, and as you can see, we're going through a savanna over here, which is perfectly fine. It's not too bad. We've got the sun rising, obviously, over on the left-hand side there. And if we have a look over here, this is some of the things that I wanted to sort of see in this mod, is where we get these sort of changes of the rock formation as they come along the sides of hills and things like that. So normally in the real world, if you had, say, a hill that had broken away or something like that, you would actually see these sort of rock formations actually occurring. Whereas in Minecraft, generally it just sort of glosses over it. So it brings out a bit more of an actual sort of outline to hills and things like that when they are broken down like that. Let's travel along though. Let's have a bit more look. I want to see whether or not there's any sort of snow biomes or something like that, or something that really captures what this mod is really about. And you know what? Just thinking about it, this actually makes horses useful. Think about it for a second. So normally in Minecraft worlds, if I go over, I won't go over there, but normally in Minecraft mods, oh, in Minecraft, you have, how to put it without sort of insulting Mojang too much. It's the horses are kind of a bit useless because the terrain's not flat like this and it doesn't sort of rise and fall. It's kind of jaggedy, and horses in the game aren't very useful because obviously you're only going to be able to jump up 2 blocks and you can't do that automatically. So horses don't really get a lot of use. But in this sort of terrain, it feels like horses could actually be very useful. So that's the other thing that I sort of feel like in this. And look at this. This is the weirdest savanna biome that I've ever seen. And it just feels natural. It just feels like it's something that you could imagine living in the real world. Let's have... Hang on a sec. I can see the chat. Ah, here we go. Oh, what do we got? We've got Vertex. Hey, Vertex, good old friend of mine. And Egon Bahala. I'm so sorry if I say your name wrong. I'm not very good. I'm Australian, so we say things in the worst possible way imaginable. But thanks, guys, for joining the stream, all that sort of stuff. And I hope you guys have a bit of fun because this is obviously, you know, something that I don't do very often, quite obviously. And yeah, it's something that's definitely, hopefully, a bit more common on this channel in the near future. And have a look at this. Have a look at this. Okay, so we've got these rolling sort of hills over here, but at the same point, we've got the same thing over there. And you get that little bit of... Hang on, where's my hand? Where's my hand? Not a flower. Okay, my hand here. So, as you can see, right there is kind of where the mountain's not perfect. That's what I like. That's what I want to see, is imperfections in Minecraft that feels like it's real. Of course, like, it'd be nice to continue with how Minecraft does generate by itself anyway, but to have like an option or something like that for this sort of world generation, I guess that would be something really cool to have just naturally in Minecraft. Because why wouldn't you want this? This is fantastic. I feel like I could just, you know what? I'm getting a horse. I'm getting a horse. I've talked about it enough, and we are definitely getting out a horse. What do we got? Spawn horse. Guess we're going to need a saddle. And We'll also need, no, that should be fine. That should be, no, I'll need, no, I should be fine with that. God, it's been so long since I used a horse. The other thing, while we're here, have you ever noticed in Bedrock how this doesn't disappear when you close down the menu? So, for instance, if you close it down, open it back up, it's still the same words here, and forever. Because I am using a keyboard and basically having to type it out, every single time I come back to here, there's an E here because E closes out the menu. It's really annoying. There's nothing that you can do to get rid of it. It just needs some... I mean, that could be a parody change that I think that would suit really well. But, of course, I get the most ugliest horse, but that's okay. That's okay. We're fine. We're all good. Okay. How to... Okay. So, if we grab... Oh, no. No. There we go. How long has it been since I've actually used a horse? Okay. So, which direction are we going in? We're going in... Nope. Yeah, this is the parts of the video that I normally cut out. Does anyone remember what direction I was traveling in? It's either this one or this one. We'll go with this one. Let's see. So, obviously, this makes the horse much more useful. You're not having to jump over all these horrible... There was a horse set anyway. Fine. Yeah, you're not having to jump over all these horrible sort of ravines and things like that that we come across. And it's just nice. It feels like a really strange version of Minecraft. It's weird to play it like this, especially with RTX, because that really brings up the world a lot more than it usually does. And what have we got down here? Is this a ravine, or is this just something that... Okay, it's just a creek. So in this, it looks like creeks actually generate the same way as you would have ravines. So that's kind of interesting, actually. Actually, you know what? That means that you could build bridges, and they would actually have use. That's cool. I want this so badly in Minecraft, and this only exists as a strip, which is a little bit annoying, but Okay. This is now officially cool. We're gonna have to leave our horse, obviously, and okay. That's that's the end of the world generation over on that side. So that's okay. You can see where it just ends. That's terrible. Okay, let's jump up over here and see what else we can. I want to see snow. That's what I want to see. More than anything else is snow. Let's get back into the middle here and away from where the world sort of suddenly shifts back into the traditional Minecraft way and have a bit more of a look as to how this all sort of looks. I hope you guys have a bit of fun with this. It's weird sort of using known sort of Java mods and things like that and then bringing them over to Bedrock because I don't know how to put it. It kind of makes it... what's the word for it? It kind of makes it a little bit more useful, I guess, in a way. Because when you think about it, Java's good. It's just... There's a lot of limiting factors that I have to it. Like, I don't know, you want to go out... Or say you're catching a train somewhere and suddenly you can't play Minecraft, or if you're pulling out a laptop, people start looking at you strangely, or things like that. It really does make life a lot more harder if you're actually only able to play on a laptop or computer. And it's things like this where no one's really going to look at you twice if you're just playing Minecraft on a phone. And having that portability is one of the things I love. Not to mention having proper frames per second in the game without Optifine. That's another sort of issue that I'm not fond of, but that's fine. It is what it is. Okay, so let's have a bit more of a look around here. Let's see what we can and go from there. So we're going to find snow. That's what I'm intent on with this one, is finding snow. Sorry, I jump around quite a lot, but yeah, there really is a lot to sort of talk about here. Look at this. Look at this. This is great. This is good. Okay. I could see this. I could see this being an option in Minecraft. This is a well-made mod. I have to look up who the actual creator is and do a shout out to him, because this mod is done really, really well. Obviously, it's been done over quite a number of years, and it's probably been quite a long sort of effort and work to actually get it to where it is now, but it's been done extremely, extremely well. In fact, let's have a look at the cave. I want to see if a cave is actually any different to how they would normally be. Plus, it gives you guys a bit of an idea of what it's like to tunnel through caves and things like that in RTX. What have we got? Vertex. Oh, am I a Bedrock? Are you a Bedrock person to a Java person? I sort of just play Minecraft. I love Minecraft. There's no perfect version of Minecraft, I think. That's the good and bad side to Minecraft, is that in Java, I've played Java for quite a number of years, and there's some things I wanted to always experiment with, which obviously you can't in Java, as far as block pushing and things like that, or chest pushing. And you could always naturally do it in Bedrock, so I always thought that I'd give that a shot. At the same point, though, there's things that I do like about Bedrock. As far as random ticks, everyone hates the random tick sort of idea. It's not the best. I can see why they did it, to basically try and make it so that it was a bit more usable on mobile platforms, that sort of thing. But I think Mojang probably would have been better off to try and make Java into a C platform game, because they always talk about how they were planning originally to actually make it into C, so that it runs a lot better and basically is a bit more versatile about how the hardware can run. But it never sort of came about in the end, I guess. So I do love both versions, as much as I always make a few jokes about Java and sometimes make jokes about Bedrock. There's good and bad to everything, I guess. And Minecraft is sort of one of those games where there's no best way to sort of play. So I guess that's kind of the way you got to look at it, is that, I mean, I have nothing wrong with playing Java, got nothing wrong with playing Bedrock, but, ooh, am I in water? Oh, okay, I'm in water. Okay, yeah, so this is one of the weird things with, I guess, this shader pack that I'm using. Well, it's kind of a shader pack, I guess. So to explain it a bit better, how RTX works at the moment is that there's no native sort of RTX pack. So I use the Razzle Core RTX pack so that I can use RTX. This is one that looks most sort of vanilla RTX. There is some problems as far as you get these sort of issues where it's kind of like using some of the Java shader packs where you can't really see water too well. I don't know how you could fix that though, because obviously you want water highly reflective and to be able to see like the reflections of torches and things like that in them. But at the same point, you also need to be able to see where the water is, which means that you get all these points where, well, when you're just sort of looking at it like this, where it's like, where's the water begin? It gets really hard with redstone and things like that. But it's good. It's good. I like this pack. It's very Minecraft-feely. Well, Minecraft. It feels a lot like Minecraft, is what I'm saying. Sorry, I talk absolute bollocks some of the time, so normally I just cut this out. Same with the whole Tourette's thing, but you know that's a whole new kettle of fish. And okay, look at this. This is one of the other things that you like. Well, that I actually really like about RTX is that okay, this glow, right? It's actually coming from lava. So you can start to see things before they actually pop up on you. And if, for instance, you were, say, I don't know, mining along, you can actually see the red glow before you obviously walk off a ledge into lava. It's really, really useful. It's fantastic. I wish that that sort of thing would actually exist in the native Minecraft. What do we got here? What's your favorite block? What's your favorite wood type? Oh, that's a good question. Favorite block and wood type. That's actually a really fantastic question because so wood type, that's an easy one. That's easy enough. Favorite wood type, without a doubt, acacia. So why is it my favorite? Basically, you get these two opposing textures that Minecraft has somehow made look absolutely fantastic. So if you were to look at, say, a grey with an orange, they don't usually work very well together, but Minecraft or Mojang has been able to actually make this so that it does look really good. But not only that, you can also use it for, say, for instance, you have the completed blocks like this one, and suddenly you've got a grey texture, or you can actually have the stripped version and you've got a completely orange texture, which is highly versatile for a number of different things. Hang on a sec, let's jump the time. Favorite block though? That is a hard one. Hang on a sec. What just happened? What am I looking at? Am I in a cloud? I'm in a cloud. Okay. That's all it is. Favorite block? Um, that's a really hard question, actually. I I'd probably say target block is one of the most interesting I've seen in a while. Obviously, you can't sort of have a look at it too much in RTX because it's using kind of like a version 1.15. It's got some of the new sort of functions, like, for instance, if I was to drop a trident, no, not a trident, if I was to drop a compass, normally compasses were two-dimensional, but in this, they're actually three-dimensional. So this is kind of some of the parity update that we've gotten. But at the same point, if I get rid of those, it doesn't have some things like target blocks and stuff like that. So it's kind of missing the 1.16 stuff, but it still has 1.15 stuff, if that sort of makes sense. Aside from that, though, what else besides the target block would probably be my favorite? I, I've always liked furnaces. Yeah, furnaces are kind of cool. Crafting benches. Uh, I guess probably the target block though. The target block's got to be one of my favorite sort of things. I think, as opposed to that, probably one of my disliked sort of idea is the daylight sensor. So it's sort of always been underused. So the daylight sensor has always, I don't know, I've never seen much use for it aside from possibly making something where you could just look out the window anyway. I guess it's not the most useful blocks of sorts, but it is what it is. It's not great, but it is a useful block to some things, but just not very often. The target block, on the other hand, though, it does have the useful sort of side of things in at least Bedrock Edition, where you can have a dispenser flying along and basically you can shoot arrows into it. So you've got a level of controllability that's kind of like having a mod or something like that, but without having to actually have a mod. I guess that's why I like it. On the flip side, it is annoying that they did change the redstone signal as far as with snowballs. So snowballs used to have the same, well, at least in the original betas, it had the same length of time as an arrow, well, for a redstone signal. But since it came out, they actually removed that. So yeah, it's a little bit less useful. I'd like to actually be able to use the snowball to make one of those programmable flying machines, just because snowballs are a lot easier to get, a lot easier to use, that sort of thing. Have we jumped back into traditional Minecraft sort of world? Have I run out of map? I'm sure I haven't run out of map. I let this go for ages. Um, no, that's traditional sort of Minecraft world. I've strayed off somewhere completely. this is this is a part of the recordings that you don't normally see as far as actually how I do things. Um, what do we got? So, what's a tiger block? Oh, here we go. So, oh, I just meant the acacia block. Oh, target block. Sorry, target block. I was talking about the target block. I can't show it to you actually because this version doesn't have it. But the target block, the white block with the sort of circle red things on it. If you want to see programmable flying machines, I've got those on my channel. I can't make them now though because obviously, yeah, the version's a bit sort of stuffed up. Um, what else was Vertex saying? I love the netherite blocks. Looks amazing. They do. They do. Netherite blocks I love, and that was one of the reasons why I actually originally built that sort of mining machine using them, just because it obviously looked nicer. Little did I realize I'd get 1,000 comments all saying that ancient debris was cheaper. Oh, that was a mistake. But no, I do love the ancient. Well, sorry, I do love the netherite blocks. The one downside that I have is that it's such a good looking texture that it actually has, but it's so hard to get. So, I mean, it looked great for something like an industrial project or something like that. But at the same point, considering that you can't sort of get it too easily, and any sort of mining machine that you have generally seems to be somewhat compromised as far as ancient debris seems to appear most of all around sort of lava columns and things like that, which means that most of the mining machines that you build are going to have a lot of issues. Even if you would just use like the TNT sort of ways of actually doing things or the bed way of actually mining, it also has issues as far as it won't be able to actually help you too much where there's most of the ancient debris. So that makes in itself its own little sort of problem. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a base that really looks industrial, but to do that you sort of need to use a ridiculous amount of not ancient debris blocks, netherite blocks, which yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess. I do love the texture, but it's so hard to get. It would be hard to be able to justify building anything out of it. I guess that's the only sort of downside to it. That mining machine is the video I found you from. Ah, yes. Yeah, that's interesting sort of mining machine. I thought so. With that one, yeah, I ended up getting a lot of comments. The Java community is very how to put it nicely, they're very passionate about the game. They're very passionate. You build something that they don't like, and you're going to get a lot of comments definitely saying how much they don't like it. But yeah, it was an interesting sort of thing. I mainly made that machine as a bit of a sort of experimentation as to this is what's going to be possible and this is how it sort of works sort of thing, rather than it being a full on out and out sort of machine of exactly what you'd want to use. Obviously that's why there's a lot of sort of manual sort of side to it, but at the same point, yeah, I got a lot of hate for that. So yeah, it is what it is. I don't mind too much. And frankly, I'm one of those people that sort of has the idea that freedom of speech is kind of one of those important things that you got to have these days. And look at this. Look at this. I've been waffling on the whole time. And look at this. You've just got these massive sort of mountain ranges. And this is great. Like, This is probably the most beautiful thing I've seen in Minecraft yet. I don't think that you can actually have Minecraft look any better than this. This is just the absolute supreme of what it can possibly look like at the moment, I reckon. And everything's just smooth and wonderful and lifelike. Sorry, I've gone a little bit over my testing period. I mean, this is meant to be a short video of only a minute or two, but yeah, I've definitely waffled on probably enough now. Yeah, I hope you guys have had probably a bit of fun here. It's definitely been a different experience for me. It's definitely a bit strange sort of streaming and having to sort of talk on the spot. I probably talk too much, to be honest. But aside from that, I hope you guys will catch me, of course, in the next videos. And yeah, hope this has been interesting. I'll catch you guys later.